Thank you for joining this session, and we're just waiting for a few people to join us. So while we're waiting for everybody to actually get signed on, I'm just going to explain the procedure that we're going to go through today. So I'm going to be presenting a short presentation, and we'll have a little look at a video that I've got to show you. If you have any questions as we go through, you can use the Q&A box. So if you just hover your mouse over the screen, you should get that in front of you. Just type your questions in and hopefully somebody will respond to you as quickly as possible. Hopefully that will cover that off. And also we're going to be recording this session, so if you've got anything that you want to check back on later, we'll be posting it onto our website. Okay, so we're going to start this morning by welcoming you to the Green Space Studies Department at Brinsbury College. And my name is Sue Reed, and I'm a lecturer in horticulture here, and I'm also a study program leader running some of the courses. So we're just moving the screen forward now, slowly. Just bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, while we have a small technical hitch with my screen not actually moving forward. Let me see if I can make that work. This is the beauty of remote presenting. So just bear with me for 2 seconds while I reshare my screen, and hopefully we'll get the presentation up and everything working properly. Right.
So just a little bit of technical advice. If you use the keypad, that should move it through the presentation for you. Sometimes it doesn't like the mouse.
I am actually using the keypad, Hayley, so it might be that we might need to get a little bit of intervention here from the powers that be. Okay, not sure what I would have there, but actually it's working. So thank you very much, everybody, for your patience there while we sorted out the technology. Obviously, we specialise in horticulture here. So, what are green space studies? So green space studies are a range of courses that will prepare you to work outdoors in parks and gardens, looking after historic plant collections. You might be really interested in sport and you'd want to look after sports pitches, whether that's golf or rugby, football, cricket. So we'll be looking at a range of courses that will teach you how to grow and care for plants and trees, and also to use those in sustainable garden design. So we have a range of courses on offer. From vocational courses to higher education academic courses, where we offer an HNC and a foundation degree. The great thing about this industry, in horticulture and the land-based industries, is that there is actually a massive skills shortage. So this is a large industry, it's worth about £24 billion to the UK economy, and we have employers saying that they are always looking for skilled, well-trained people to fill vacancies. And that is only going to increase as we go forward after January, when we're moving forward into the Brexit economy. So if you decide to join us here at Brinsbury, there's a number of ways that you can actually get to the college. We obviously have a car park here, but if you're not driving yet, we're only a few miles away from Pulborough Station. And we run a shuttle bus from there to the college in time for the lessons to start and at the end of the day. We also have a number of college buses that will pick you up, one in Crawley, which comes through Horsham, and another one comes from Worthing along the coast up through Lancing, and we also have a bus from Chichester that comes via Bognor. And all those buses will arrive in time for the college day to start and take you home at the end of the day. And you can book onto them through the college website as well. Okay, so we have 2 routes here at the college in Green Space Studies. You can either specialise in horticulture, and I'm going to tell you about that in a little bit of time, or you can look at our Arboriculture courses, specialising in the tree side of the industry. And I'm going to hand you over at this stage to my colleague Jo Groom, who is a lecturer in horticulture, and Joe's going to tell you a little bit about that.
Lovely, thank you very much, Sue. Hopefully you can hear me all okay. Can you just give me the thumbs up, Sue? Lovely. So what we're looking at delivering here at the college primarily is two courses, which I'll talk about in a second, in arboriculture. But I just want to make it nice and clear to people what basically arboriculture is kind of about. Many people come onto the course thinking that they are just purely going to climb and cut trees and that's all going to be outside. There is a good element of theory work within this course, or courses I should say, because actually arboriculture is the science of trees. It's not just the practical climbing and cutting. If we just look at the next slide, please, Sue. So as you can see here, we've got two routes to choose from, basically. Now, so we have the level 2 course. This is primarily a practical course, okay, but there is obviously, again, elements of theory within this. And basically, it will equip you with the key skills to begin working in the industry. So I'll talk to you in a second about what's included in these, but if you just, for the moment, consider this level 2 course is primarily there for someone that has zero experience or skill in this industry, to take them up to a point where they could be employed by a company. Then on successful completion of this level 2 course, you then have the option of actually progressing onto a second year that would then cover your level 3 qualification as well. And it gives you the opportunity to develop such skills at a higher level. So you would be studying advanced forestry, woodland management, land-based machinery, employment legislation and business management. Some of the other things that you would also cover within these courses, as I said previously, would be plant science, soil science. You could also cover things such as tree identification, tree law. So there's many different topics that could be studied within this course. And if Sue, if you're able to flip to the next slide, please. Thank you. And through all those topics within these courses, it can lead you to just some of these careers within this industry. So you could, if you just wanted to look at doing tree climbing and tree sort of maintenance, that would be fine on the level 2 course. Then moving on to level 3, you could possibly look at doing tree preservation and conservation, managing parks and gardens, planning and tree surveys and inspections. And there actually are a number of other pathways that you could actually take as well, from working with local councils to even starting to train other new arborists if you wanted to as well. So that's just some of the things that we're covering in arboriculture. Again, if you do have any questions that you want answered, please use the question and answer and we'll get back to you. Okay, I think it's back to you, Sue.
Hold on. Lovely, thank you very much, Joe. Okay, so moving on to horticulture. So horticulture is the study of the art and science, business, and also the practical skills involved in looking after and growing plants. So we offer a range of courses here at Brinsbury. You can start off with a level 1, which is a really practical course. It will give you all the key skills involved in ground preparation, care and maintenance of plants, planting techniques, starting to look at lawn care as well. You can then progress on to a level 2, where we develop those skills further. We start to look a little bit more at the science side, garden design. We get some really good plant identification skills going as well. And then moving on to level 3, which is a really good mix of practical and academic skills, preparing you to go out to perhaps a management role in the industry or on to further higher education. So we have, in higher education, we have our level 4, our HNC qualification in horticulture. And this really focuses on science and botany, plant selection, as well as looking at crop nutrition and crop health. You have an alternative there. You could actually look at the foundation degree, which is on sustainable food production. So looking at, particularly as we go forward again, as I said, with Brexit, it's going to be a really key issue, looking at our, how our food is produced in the UK and making sure that is sustainable for the future as we go on, and looking after soil health, animal health as well. So those are our full-time courses. We also offer the Royal Horticultural Society courses. So you can come here and study the principles of horticulture, which is a part-time course. It's half a day a week. And that will give you all the theory behind the horticultural topic. It will look at the science, it will look at planting techniques, plant identification. If you're more practically minded, we also offer a part-time course, half a day a week, from the RHS, which is a practical course, and that will give you some really good, strong practical skills, ground preparation, plant maintenance, plant identification and propagation. An alternative route that you might want to consider is becoming an apprentice. So our apprentices are employed full-time within the industry, and then they come to college one day a week, typically, to look at the theory and the knowledge behind what they're actually studying. Okay, so I thought it might be useful just to look at some of the jobs that you might want to progress on to after your studies. So you might be really interested in the landscaping side. You might want to look after or redesign people's gardens, looking after the hard structures within their gardens as well, patios and paving, raised borders, paths, trellises, fences. That also comes under the sort of remit of horticulture. You might be interested in working for the council, perhaps looking after a local park or a historic garden. And we're really lucky here in the south of England that we have some amazing gardens, Nyman's, Wakehurst Place, all on our doorstep, which have some fantastic plant collections as well. You might decide to go into garden design. We're very proud of one of our students who's just completed a degree in garden design at the Eden Project. So there are opportunities to progress into that route. As I said earlier, if you're really interested in sports turf, there's lots of opportunities to look after greenkeeping on golf courses, cricket grounds, rugby pitches. Luckily, because of our position on the south coast, we have a centre here for horticulture production. So looking not only at ornamental plants, but also food production as well. And that strip along the Chichester Plain is an amazing piece of area. And you might have seen all the glass houses down there where they're growing salad and peppers, as well as a whole range of pot-grown plants and herbs. So there's huge opportunities for employment there as well. So we really are ideally placed for that. You might also be interested more in the science side. You might want to look at botany, plant science, plant health as well, ever increasing area, looking at the study of the diseases and managing that and looking at our biosecurity. So I thought it might be interesting for you to see just a few of our students and see what sort of jobs they've gone on to. So for example, here we've got Adam, who is currently a project manager for a landscaping company. So his role is to go out, talk to the clients, put together a plan of how they're actually going to build that new garden, and then to manage all the resources for that, to manage all the staffing. Really interesting role. We've also got Will there. Will was here studying a level 3 horticulture diploma, and he's now a very accomplished garden designer. He's won awards at Hampton Court and at Chelsea as well, so we're very, very proud of him. We've also got Eleanor, who's running her own business. She's a self-employed designer and garden maintenance operative. And Lewis, who is running a garden centre as well. A couple more examples here. We've got Louis over here, who's working as a landscaper. Anne Harrod, who's specialising in gardening maintenance and planting techniques. And then Ben, again, who was with us doing a level 3 diploma. He went on to do a degree in landscape architecture and is now a qualified landscape architect. So I'm just going to show you a little video of the campus. As I can't show you around in person, I thought you might like to have a little look and see. Okay, so I think that's good to go, Hayley. Lovely. So this is our main lawn here at Brinsbury. So we're really fortunate, as I said earlier, we've got about 500 acres, which is a fabulous experience for our students. We have woodland, we have ornamental borders, so lots and lots of opportunities to work around the college and learn new skills. This is Brinsbury House, and our classroom is right along the bottom at the far left, and I hope to show you that later. And here we've just got a selection of glass houses. So we've got 3 main glass houses on the college with all sorts of amazing facilities. We've tried very much to replicate what's going on in the industry to give our students that opportunity to practice their skills in a professional setting as well. This is Jim, one of our lecturers. He's doing a little bit of pruning and trimming of some of our trees and shrubs there. And we have a lot of plants that we've propagated that we use for planting practice, for plant identification skills as well. And this is our in our potting shed. This is, I think this is Georgie, our technician, who is actually sowing some seeds there. So a really great facility there when we're carrying out plant propagation. And of course, we have all the facilities, we have all the equipment we need and the tools as well. So moving on to our landscaping tunnel, this is a covered area where you can learn key skills, things like paving, building walls, and really useful to have that covering as well for all weathers. Joe, I'm handing over to you onto the workshop.
Yep, so this is just one of our workshops that we use while we're on the course. As you can see there, it's well equipped with all of the maintenance tools that we need to carry out any maintenance on chainsaws or other bigger machinery such as the wood chipper and such. You'll be pleased to know that we have basically brand new chainsaws and climbing systems for you to use, so you're using the most up-to-date equipment there is in the industry at the moment.
Okay, thank you, Joe. So we can see in front of us our heritage orchard here, which is an amazing experience for students, giving them the opportunity to carry out pruning, pest and disease identification on those apple trees as well. And this is the Arboretum, where we have a really interesting range and mix of species here. Great for our arboriculture students to learn plant identification and to look at the health of these plants as well. A really nice area, with a great selection of trees there. And I think very shortly we're going to move back. Oh, and here's the classroom. So this is the horticulture classroom. I thought you might be interested to have a look around here. So this is where a lot of our horticulture students will start their day, carry out any of their theory sessions. And we have a good range of equipment here for various scientific activities. We're looking at plant science, things like that, a plant identification. Okay, so Hayley, perhaps you could hand the sharing back to me, or I can share my screen and I will move back to the presentation now.
There we go, so it's all
Lovely.
yours.
Thank you very much. Lovely, okay. So I believe that takes a few minutes. Okay, so I hope that's given you an overview of what we look like here at the college. And as I say, in the future, hopefully we will be able to welcome you here in person, and I'd love to show you around. It is a really, really beautiful place. So if you decide to come to Brinsbury, and I hope you do, as well as your vocational course, your horticulture and arboriculture course, you will also continue to study maths and English if you haven't yet achieved a level 4 or stage 4 in those. And we have classes there which run within the college week. You'll also get an opportunity to do some work experience, and we have a fabulous programme of industry trips and visits, and we've got really, really strong links with the horticulture and arboriculture industry, particularly in the south of England. And a lot of people are very, very happy to come and talk to us here at the college and to welcome us to their premises. Obviously that's a little bit different at the moment, but that's going to change in the future as we go forward. So in addition to all this, we also have what we call the ACES programme, which really works on employability skills, because as a professional course, our focus is very much getting you ready to go into the workplace or onto higher education. So we're looking at the various attributes that you will need to actually achieve that. And we have a very active student union as well. So our student union runs trips, things like going to Harry Potter World or Thorpe Park, and those happen throughout the year as well as a whole range of charity activities and fun things going on. We're really proud of our student voice here at Brinsbury and at Chichester College. So all our students have a say in what goes on at the college and have an opportunity to get involved in college life as well. And you can just see there a few examples of some of the trips we've been on. I think that was Kew Gardens was one of them, and we went to Nyman's over near Handcross. Okay, so hopefully that's given you a little bit of a taster of life here at the college. we are an outstanding college. We really are very proud of what we offer here. And I hope that you'll be interested enough to come and join us. Our applications open next week for joining us in September. So, and I think we've had some questions as we've gone through. I know some of them have been answered on the Q&A side, but Holly, have we got any questions that have come up that we'd like to answer?
Yes, we've got a few questions here, some of which, as you say, have been already answered, but I'm going to pick them up as well just to expand on some of those points. A question I've got here is, what will a day at college look like?
Okay, that's a really good question. I think it's fair to say that every day at college is different. Certainly in our industry, because we are in a lot of ways weather dependent. But the college day typically starts at 9:15. So the buses and the trains will arrive in time to do that. We all start off in the classroom, and then we will probably start off with a little bit of theory, setting the scene, and then we try to get outside, out and about as much as possible. Obviously the weather isn't always great for that, but because we have such a fabulous range of glass houses, our potting shed, our machine workshop, we've got lots of opportunities to be doing practical activities, and we feel that's a really positive way of looking at the industry as well. So within the day we'll have various breaks. There'll obviously be a lunch break, and I perhaps should have said we've got a restaurant on site which has a range of lunches and snacks and things like that. And the day will finish at around 4:20, 4:30, and the buses run back from college in time to take you home. Okay, Holly? Great,
thank you so much. I've got another question here that says, I don't have any prior experience in this field, pardon the pun, does this matter?
Not at all, no, come and talk to us. We'll have a chat with you. We'll look at your academic skills, we'll see what you've been doing, and we'll find the best place for you to start on this course. And you know, it's fabulous for people who want to retrain, and we have a lot of adult learners here as well. It's a great opportunity, and we can slot you into the right course and give you those skills you need to progress into the industry.
Great, thank you. Got another question here. Is there an apprenticeship option for the course? Where can I find out about this?
Okay, yes, so there is an option to become an apprentice in horticulture, and you can certainly do that. Typically you would secure a position with an employer as an apprenticeship scheme, and you can have a look at the government website. They advertise all the vacancies there, and then you would then be placed in college 1 day a week by your employer. But have a chat with us about that, and we'll be happy to point you in the right direction.
Perfect, thank you. A couple of questions that might go hand in hand. What PPE will I need, and do we have to work in the rain?
Okay, well, okay, PPE stands for personal protective equipment. So this is the safety equipment we would expect you to be wearing at the college. And in horticulture, and I'll pass over to you in a minute, Joe, because I know this is more, you've got a lot more involved in this, but in horticulture, we would expect you to have a decent pair of steel toe cap boots. And also gloves, really good. And in terms of working in the rain, yes, we do work in the rain in horticulture. That is the industry. I mean, obviously we would try to keep as dry as possible, but unfortunately, you know, if you're employed in a park or a garden or on a sports pitch and you are employed outdoors and you're on one of our practical courses, we will be doing practical work. So a good coat might be in order. Okay. Joe, would you like to talk PPE?
Yeah, I will do. Yeah, so just following on from what Sue said, if you're looking at joining the Arboriculture course, probably at level 2, we do require all the students to, within the first sort of 3 to 4 weeks, buy all of their chainsaw protective equipment. Now, there are some learner grants available to help pay for this. It probably costs around about £400. So save your pennies up until September next year. And in the start of the course, I'll go through everything that you need to have for the 1 or 2 years that you're looking to stay with us.
Great, thank you so much. I've got quite a specific one here, but I feel like it might be relevant to a few people. I'm interested in tree maintenance, but a little nervous of heights. Is there support to build my confidence?
Yeah, so all of our staff here that do the training obviously are well experienced with working in the industry and are well experienced with working with students as well. I've been teaching since I was 23, so a good number of years now, and I've had to deal with a lot of students that have had nerves of heights. And it's just a case of, we reassure you, we go nice and slow. And the thing to remember is that at no point will you be put in a situation where you're likely to have an injury. So there's no chances of you being injured by falling out of a tree. So we'll guide you through it.
Okay, and can I just add on that as well, Holly? If you're really interested in the tree side of the industry, but you feel that perhaps arboriculture isn't for you, horticulture is perhaps much more of a catch-all. So we look at a whole range of plants, including the health and maintenance of trees as well.
That's great, thank you very much. I've got another question here. Is there financial support for mature students?
That's a jolly good question. All our students have the option to apply for a bursary, which is means tested. If you're a mature student and you want help with the course fees, you can apply for an additional learner loan. So rather like at the university loans that are available as student loans, we have learner loans available for further education as well.
Thanks very much. Another question here is, how many days per week are most of the courses?
Okay, so typically courses, a full-time course in further education runs over 2 to 3 days. So if you think of life in sixth form, lessons are scheduled and then you would have lots of free periods and library study time. We don't do that here. So when you're here, you're in lessons, you're doing practical work. So we condense the whole week into 3 days, including your maths and English study programme, if that's an element that you need to look at as well.
Just to add on to your point, Sue, it could also be an element of work experience that you might have to complete while you're on the course as well, which would be done on a day that is not timetabled for college. So
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Joe. Yes, I should have said that. We do expect all our students to do some external work experience. So that might be, you might want to do it in a block during the holidays, or you might want to do 1 day a week as well. And we'll talk to you about that when we get to the interview stage and explain what you need to do. Okay. Anything else, Holly?
I've got a couple more. Can I do the level 3 without doing the level 2?
That very much depends upon your experience and what you've been doing in the past. So we would look at your academic qualifications, we'd look at your industry experience, and certainly make a judgment on that. But come and talk to us and let's find out what the best route for you is.
Perfect. I'm just going to finish on this last question, which is about GCSEs and entry requirements. Is there somewhere I can find out more information about what I need to get onto the courses?
Absolutely. So the entry requirements are listed on our website, but by all means, my recommendation would be to put in your application, come and talk to us. If you've applied for one course, that doesn't mean that when we interview you, we'll be looking purely at that course. We will look at your qualifications and your industry experience and what would be the best fit for you, and we will put you onto the correct level for that at the interview stage. Okay, right, thank you very much, Holly. Okay, so I'd just like to thank you all for joining us this morning and being very tolerant of our technical issues. And I hope that's given you an overview of what we have here at Brinsbury and our Green Space Studies department. I think we offer some fabulous courses as an outstanding college. And as I said, applications are open next week. So hopefully you'd like to come and join us, and I'll look forward to meeting you in the future.